Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the TOE Way Webinar Series 2. We had the first session on Tuesday and it was very amazing and impactful. And as you know, joining us today is Angela Neke. I did an introduction on Tuesday. She's been a mentor on our program for over 5 years, and she's really been amazing, taking us through TOE Way every year. And she's going to be taking the series 2 today. Also joining us is Foucault Rollins, will be helping with translations to French. So I'll hand over to AA now, Angela Neke. So she's going to take the session, and it has to be interactive. So please ensure you share your comments in the chat box, and any question that's been asked, please just try and respond, and let's make it as interactive as possible. So I'll hand over to her now. Over to you, Angela, and thank you for joining us today again. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ibukun. Sorry, I was on mute. Good afternoon, everyone. Ibukun, actually, I've been doing this TOE way since inception. So just so that you know, I've been a mentor since inception, so that you know. So you're all welcome to today's session. How many of you had learned anything from the webinar 1? How many of you learned anything and want to, maybe recap and share some of your thoughts as to what you learned? Does anyone want to say anything or write anything? Chat.
Okay, so I'm waiting for comments so that I can share. So please just share your comments, and we would be happy to share with Angela.
Any comments?
None yet. Please share your comments. I'm sure you learned a lot last week, so please. Okay, so
2 days ago.
I've been getting comments. Ideas can come from anyone.
Good.
Yeah, leaders must develop listening skills.
Well done.
I learned about how to be a good entrepreneur.
Okay.
Always celebrate milestones.
Good, good.
And yes, okay, I learned many things such as organizational skills, leadership, decision making in an organization. Yeah. And I learned about TOE and how we succeeded.
And continues to succeed.
Yes.
Okay, anybody else?
Okay, let me see.
Foucault, maybe you can share in French and ask in French.
Okay, Foucault, please go ahead and translate to French. Thank you.
Ok, bonjour tout le monde et bienvenue pour cette deuxième session de webinaire sur les TOEs, la façon de faire le TOE. Donc ici, on commence de façon interactive comme hier et on vous demande de faire vos commentaires, de dire qu'est-ce que vous avez appris avant-hier lors de la session de mardi. Donc essayez de partager dans le chat box de YouTube qu'est-ce que vous avez appris. Donc nous sommes en train, on vous écoute. Merci. Thank you.
Okay. So we have more comments. I learned that you have to carry out your projects when your ideas are still fresh and when they become obsolete. Yes, we learned from the TOE way that we can make a lot of achievements as young as we are because he achieved more at his early age.
Great.
So, yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So let's get started with today's seminar. Unless any of the French-speaking entrepreneurs want to say something. Otherwise, we can get started.
Okay. None from them.
Okay.
Coco, please, can you find out? Can you speak, translate to French?
Send me the link. Please send me the link for me to check, please.
Okay, all right, I'll do that. Thank you.
Okay. So maybe we'll start, and then if there's any thoughts, additional thoughts later, we'll share them. Okay, so today theory webinar 2, and the first set of business values will be focusing on human capital, culture, rewarding performance, and performance management. Remember, I said I'll share what a quote from theory on the business value in the theory way. I'll share, what the literature says, and I'll try as much as possible to share an example, and we'll make this as interactive as possible. So theory says, talents I do not have, I don't regret. I surround myself with people who have them. And this is so important for you guys as you start your businesses, because you don't know everything, you can't have all the skills in the world. So Theo is saying talents he doesn't have, he doesn't regret. He just surrounds himself with people who have them. Says leaders don't do it alone, assemble co-travelers. So assemble people who, your area of weakness, there's always going to be an area of weakness, and somebody else will have that skill. Hire that person. Identify talent and then help people discover themselves. Everything about achieving results depends on people. One wrong hire and you can deviate from your strategic intent. Have people in the right jobs and ensure there's proper alignment. One of the toughest decisions I make is placing people. Putting round pegs in round holes is critical. People need to be placed in their natural habitat. When I get a hire wrong, I go back to the candidate's file to see where I got it wrong. When hiring, if negotiation with a candidate takes too long, it's best to pass. So these are some of Thierry's quotes. I always say to Thierry, if you introduce Thierry to someone, he's going to ask them 2 questions. He's going to ask them, where do you work? And he's going to ask them, where do you band? Typically, you'll find that he'll ask that question. And, the talent, he's always hunting for talent, always hunting for talent. So that's something that gets him excited. He always talks about how, when the merger took place, we talked about the merger last time, when the merger took place between Standard Trust and UVA, that he read every HR file for manager and above. Imagine that, a CEO to spend time reading the HR file for every manager and above. And I can imagine how many people that was. So he takes talent very, very seriously, And then some more quotes from Thierry. Performance management is key. We are a merit-driven organization. Wrong cultural values can kill an organization. Have a culture of excellence and quality. Emphasize quality in everything you do. I think I shared this one the last time, so I'm not going to repeat it. I think first we must know who we are and how you project yourselves. This is what, I talked about this when we talked about branding. So culture is basically about collective values, beliefs, higher rights, ensure you conduct structured interviews, and include key people. Don't do it. Remember last time we talked about consensus, management by consensus. Get other people involved in the panel, because you may not be able to ask all the questions that will help you identify and ensure that you're not making the wrong hire. Hire smart. You already talked about putting round pegs in round holes. Ensure that there's a job match, there's a skills match. Check references. And then, measure performance and reward performance. And just as an example, when Standard Trust, after the Thierry took over the distressed Crystal Bank, and Standard Trust first started, he was a small institution, obviously, at the beginning, at the start, and he really rewarded performance. So someone signed up Western Union, another person signed up, a major customer, and they were rewarded with cars. So I mean, obviously, you have to make sure that you ensure that your performance management rewards match the performance and the performance of the organization as a whole. Yeah. Okay. So then going on, here it says performance is very strategic for business success. As an entrepreneur and as a business leader, I have found that performance is one of the essential tools for success. As an entrepreneur and a business leader, you start with a vision. You come up with strategies for executing the vision. You assemble the people. So you guys, you've thought of you've come up with your idea. You've started with your vision. It says, come up with the strategies for executing the vision. Someone talked about milestones last time. Then you assemble the people who will execute these strategies. Then you let people know what success entails. So it's vision. Sorry. So it's vision, strategy, people, and then performance criteria. It says if you fail to reward appropriately, in the long run, you will not grow a sustainable business. It's like a chain. If you do not reward, people will not deliver. If people do not deliver, there's no business. It says, I've embraced rewarding performance as it is a very important leadership tool for getting things done. Any comments?
Okay, so we're waiting for comments. Please share your comments.
And I'd like to hear from you guys how, for those of you who have already started hiring people, how you've gone about it, what are the experiences? Can you corroborate what he's saying? Can you corroborate his business values, or are there things that you can learn? Just share your thoughts. Foko, I don't know whether you want to translate before we begin to hear.
Yes, of course. I can just, for a minute, repeat what you said in French. OK. Donc, aujourd'hui, nous allons commencer par la ressource humaine. La ressource humaine. Donc, il est question ici de partager quelques mots que Tony a réunis pour nous, comme par exemple, il dit, je n'ai pas le talent, je ne l'ai pas et je ne regrette pas parce que je travaille avec des gens autour de moi qui ont le talent. Il dit aussi, un leader ne fait pas seul. Il met toujours autour de lui un ensemble de personnes. Et il dit, il est important d'identifier les talents et surtout d'aider les autres à se découvrir eux-mêmes. Il dit, tout est dans l'accomplissement, tout est dans les résultats et ça dépend des personnes. Donc, voilà quelques valeurs que Tony partage avec nous. Il dit, par exemple, quand il y a un mauvais recrutement ou bien la relation avec un employé se passe mal, il va toujours vers le candidat pour savoir ce qui n'a pas marché. Donc, voilà quelques éléments que je peux partager avec vous concernant ce que Angela vient de nous dire. Après ça, il a partagé aussi quelques expériences comme quoi il faut récompenser. Donc, il faut récompenser les employés quand eux se comportent bien. Il faut les récompenser. Par exemple, on a pris l'exemple de quelqu'un qu'on a recruté à BMW et on lui a offert une voiture. L'autre qu'on a recruté à Express Union et on lui a aussi offert un cadeau, ainsi de suite. Donc, généralement, il faut récompenser les ressources humaines, les personnes qui travaillent avec vous. Donc, voilà. Et ici, maintenant, on demande quelles sont vos impressions, qu'est-ce que vous en pensez? Donc, vos réponses, vos participations en français sont entendues. Merci. OK. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Coco. So let's have some comments.
Okay, so there are 3 comments here. Strategy does play a good part in business. Employee job satisfaction has a lot to do with performance appraisal. I believe it is a key component for business growth. Another one says hiring the right set of people is very important. It can make or mar a company. Rewarding performance has been key to holding our dedicated staff at Triple T Montessori Academy. So this is someone that has an existing business. So rewarding performance has been very key. So there's another comment here. Building a team of exceptional go-getters and keeping a steady, this is not clear. Building a team of exceptional go-getters and keeping excellent performance is indeed key to the success of every business organization. So those are the comments we have for now.
Excellent. So you guys are all corroborating the theory where you're already walking in it. So excellent. Thank you. So the next set of business values we're going to be looking at is institutionalization and governance. And theory says you need the operating software that will make the system work in a certain manner. You know, so it's not enough to put people, it's not enough to put machines. You need other software, operating software, and that's institutionalization and governance, be it your policies, your procedures, your standard operating procedures, you know, your culture, all these things help putting your boards in place, putting your charters in place. You know, it says, looking back, I find that a certain work ethic, I think I shared this at the beginning, a certain work ethic, a certain way that I do business has contributed to my achievements. I would like these business values institutionalized for posterity. So this theory way, for instance, anytime anyone's, you know, hired into the Hess Holdings group, they go through this theory way. And theory says, you must institutionalize. You know, most African businesses don't institutionalize. It says you must institutionalize, build to last, have a mindset of, I'm in this business forever. I want this business to be intergenerational, put structures in place to institutionalize. Businesses hardly go beyond a generation in Africa. This is not good. We need to think legacy, think sustainability, think how to institutionalize. If we think like this, we will build to last. It says 100 years from now, I want this institution to be one that has achieved great success because it was built to last. And Thierry goes on to say, to build to last, you must have strong corporate governance. Without strong corporate governance, you cannot build to last. Governance is key to succession planning. So who wants to maybe talk about governance? I don't know if you've got, Ibuku, have they gotten this far in the have they gotten this far on corporate governance? Have they set up boards?
Yes, so the training this year was categorized. So
Okay.
the entrepreneurs that were placed in Disruptor, they've actually done all of this. So how to, you know, corporate governance, how to select your board of directors, legal compliance. Yes, they've gone through this.
Okay, good. And policies. So who wants to share your thoughts on corporate governance before we go into an example?
Ok, donc à ce niveau, nous sommes maintenant au niveau de la façon de faire en termes d'institution et de gouvernance. Donc Tony a partagé aussi quelques citations avec nous qu'on va aussi reprendre, on va reprendre ensemble. Comme par exemple, il dit le système opérationnel doit être un bon système et il doit être fait d'une certaine manière. Donc il dit, quand on fait le business, on a besoin d'un système opérationnel, d'un logiciel de fonctionnement des opérations qui doit être performant. Il dit aussi qu'il insiste surtout sur l'institutionnalisation pour pouvoir avancer. Il dit on doit avoir un mindset, on doit avoir un comportement, une attitude, genre je suis dans le business pour longtemps. Ça, c'est important. Donc, vous devez vous comporter comme quelqu'un qui fait du business pour longtemps. Et il revient dessus. Vous devez faire du business en tenant compte d'un mouvement intergénérationnel. Donc, vous devez faire du business de façon à impacter pas seulement votre génération, mais même les générations futures. Et il insiste sur l'institutionnalisation. Tout ce que vous faites, pensez à le faire de façon à ce que les autres puissent le prendre de bonne façon, de bonne manière, l'utiliser. C'est ça l'institutionnalisation. Faire que ce soit quelque chose d'accepté par les autres. Il dit on doit le faire surtout en pensant à l'héritage, surtout en pensant à la pérennisation. Donc, tout ce qu'on fait, doit être fait de façon pérenne, parce que c'est ça qui peut nous permettre de bâtir le succès. Donc, et quand il regarde dans le passé, les choses ont été faites pour que les générations futures puissent prendre le relais, et c'est ça qui permet de bâtir des entreprises qui mettent long. Donc voilà, à ce niveau, si on demande donc quels sont vos avis en termes de gouvernance et d'institutionnalisation. Okay, thank you. We can move forward.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's have some comments. Yeah.
Okay. So I have just 2 comments. So governance is key to sustainability, and strategizing to the exact value moves your business higher. So those were the 2 comments.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Foko, do you have any comments?
Yes, I have a comment. Someone say in French, effectivement, quand un employé travaille et est récompensé selon ses mérites, il est prêt à tout faire pour la réussite de l'entreprise. La récompense est un facteur de motivation et de push pour ses employés, pour le bien-être de l'employeur. Okay, this was a comment for the other part. Thank you. You can move forward.
Okay. 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 So going on, let me give an example. So, Foko, please, can you mute your mic? Thank you. So, an example is Transco. So the Hess Holdings Group made a strategic investment in Transco in 2011. Transco, at the time, Transco had not produced annual accounts for years. They had unreconciled shares, they had 99 court cases, never paid a dividend. You know, these were things. And what did Hess Holdings do? How did they add value to the company? They created internal awareness on governance. You know, corporate governance sessions were held for the directors of Transco PLC and its subsidiaries. SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission and Nigerian Stock Exchange were invited to come and speak to the Transco board. Corporate governance charters were developed with a zero tolerance for non-compliance, you know, from the leadership down. Annual reports were produced, AGMs were held, you know, annual general meetings were held. The first dividend was paid in 2014. And, you know, recently, I think a couple of years ago, Nigerian Stock Exchange actually awarded Transco the most compliant company on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. So imagine from not being compliant to being compliant just because of the focus of governance. So in summary, we need to build to last. And Thierry says, if you have the best policies and you do not have the right CEO, who's the chief custodian at the end of the day of your corporate governance, of your policies, to enforce it, then it will not work. Policy is necessary, but not a sufficient condition. Okay, all right. So moving on. Any thoughts? And let me give Foko time to translate the example I gave.
Ok, donc ce qu'on peut dire, c'est que concernant par exemple le cas de Transcorp et Hair Holding, donc Tony partage avec nous quelque chose de très remarquable que vous devez noter. Il dit par exemple que Transcorp, l'entreprise de transport ou bien de l'hôtel Hilton, que Transcorp a fonctionné pendant très longtemps sans avoir même de compte. Donc il dit bien Transcorp a fonctionné pendant très longtemps sans avoir de comptes, c'est-à-dire que les actionnaires n'avaient aucun retour. Il dit à une époque qu'il avait pratiquement 99 procès. Il avait 99 procès et que les opérations n'étaient pas faites avec une certaine traçabilité. Ça, c'est vraiment le démarrage des grandes œuvres. Ça, vous devez le noter. Maintenant, au niveau de Hess Holding, c'est quand on a mis en place le groupe qu'un certain nombre de choses se sont régularisées. Donc, voilà un peu ce qui a été dit. Je n'ai pas beaucoup suivi les autres. On va donc avancer comme ça. OK, thank you. You can move forward, please.
Any comments?
Yes, I have more comments on corporate governance. And there's a comment here. Corporate governance plays a major role in the organization's vision and mission statement. Good governance builds lasting businesses. Corporate governance is a system of rules, practices, and processes by which a company is directed and controlled.
Well done. Who's that? Who's that? That's my favorite definition of corporate governance. Who's that?
Yeah.
Who is that?
So we're unable to see the name because the comments go really fast on
Okay.
YouTube. Yes.
Okay. But that's my favorite definition. So well done. Thank you.
Okay, I can also share some comments, please.
Okay, go ahead.
Oui, il y a un participant qui dit la gouvernance repose sur la vision et est guidée par l'ambition. He's saying that the governance is built on vision and it is guided by the ambition. Okay. Ok, c'est très important et nécessaire de récompenser les employés car sans eux, il n'y aura pas de bonne production, donc les motiver à renforcer et à améliorer leur performance. Une bonne organisation vous permet d'atteindre vos objectifs. A good organization can help to arrive to the aim of the company. Donc, un autre commentaire que j'ai oublié tout à l'heure, Angela a dit, si vous avez de bonnes politiques sans un bon directeur général, ça sera aussi un problème. Ça, c'est l'une des choses sur lesquelles Tony Elomolu insiste. OK, thank you.
Thank you. So any other comments and we can move on?
Okay, so Onyeka Pesi, we're able to get the name. Onyeka Pesi was the one that gave the definition you liked. Yes,
well done. Well done, Onyeka. That's my favorite definition. That's my favorite definition. So well done. Okay, moving on. Let's go to the next set of business values, which hard work leads to productivity, sense of urgency, meeting deadlines, having a can-do spirit, decisiveness, effective meetings, getting things done, results-driven, and execution. So Thierry says discipline, hard work, sacrifice are what make a successful entrepreneur. I'm sure you guys all know this because I'm sure you're all very disciplined. I'm sure you're all very hardworking. You've made sacrifices, financially, physically, etc. Success does not come on a platter, is what Thierry says. He says you have to work hard to be successful. You have to be disciplined and you have to make sacrifices. He says, I work very hard and demand no less from the people who work with me. So you guys, as you're building your businesses, you're working hard, you're making sacrifices, you're being disciplined. As you hire people, look for these qualities. Look for these same qualities in people. Do not demand any less from the people who work with you than you are prepared to give to your business. So hire the kinds of people that will do as much as you do. When you're looking for your talent, look for people like you that will give to the organization, that will work hard, that will make sacrifices, that will be disciplined. Okay. I don't know how many of you have read the book Outliers. It's a very good book by Malcolm Gladwell. And he says, he talks about 10,000 hours being the magic number for true expertise, So this is just to reinforce the whole issue about discipline and hard work. You have to work hard. And he gave examples of Bill Gates. He gave examples of the Beatles. He gave so many examples of people who have worked hard and achieved mastery by working 10,000 hours. So that's, if you haven't read the book, go get it and read it. Okay. So hard work and, reinforcing the 10,000 hour rule by Malcolm Gladwell in Outliers, the magic number for true expertise and mastery. And the good book, the Bible says, seest thou a man diligent in his work, he will stand before kings. I don't know. I always share this with Thierry, because Thierry, he's met so many presidents. He's met so many, the other day, 2 days ago, he was with Macron. He's always meeting presidents. This is a man diligent in his work. He's constantly standing before kings. Urgency. Have a sense of urgency, meeting deadlines in all you do. And a sense of urgency, as the dictionary tells us, is the attitude and process of treating key business or personal matters as if one's life depends on it. So you treat everything like, everything is urgent. You know what I mean? It's really good, and have that sense of urgency. It's important to get things done quickly. And it says people who have a sense of urgency tend to excel and accomplish more than others. A sense of urgency will help you. So you've set your business plan, you've set milestones, have a sense of urgency about it, okay? Remember what Thierry said last earlier on this week, 2 days ago, when I shared with you about ideas and creativity. He says, translate your ideas into action, quickly before somebody else steals the idea, so you must do that. So get things done quickly. Have a can-do spirit, nothing is impossible. Impossible is nothing. Always feel you can do, you can take on any task. Never say never. Can't shouldn't be in your language. Refuse to accept defeat. Have a positive outlook. Don't be undaunted. So these are the qualities of someone who has a can-do spirit. You set a business plan. You guys remember we talked about having distinguish yourself in the industry in which you play and disrupt the market. So if you want to do that, you have to have a can-do spirit. You have to say to yourself, I can do this. I can achieve my business plan in the time frame that I've set for myself. Okay? And decisiveness. So Thierry goes on to say, leaders must be decisive. So posterity can forgive you for making a wrong decision, but posterity will not forgive you for not making a decision. So he says, everyone deserves a response, and on a timely basis. Leaders should give an answer of yes or no within 24 hours. Get the right work done. I find that I'm quite productive when I write a list of things to do. If I write at the beginning of every week, if I say to myself, this is what I want to do this week, these are the targets I set for myself, these are the things I must accomplish this week, I find that I'm more effective. So, get the right work done. And, meetings. It's impossible to work directly with Thierry without meetings. Meetings are the platform through which his management by consensus style plays out. It is also through meetings that he energizes the organization. So have meetings with your people, and it's a way of sharing information, getting acceptance of ideas, solving problems, planning projects, reviewing performance, making decisions, aligning interests, and resolving conflicts. So these are very important in having meetings. Make sure, and what does the literature say? Analyze your purpose and set clear objectives. Ensure your meetings are effective. Don't just have meetings, have effective meetings. Make sure you have a clear agenda as to what you want to do. Invite the right people to the meeting. So, you know what the objectives are of the meeting. Invite the right people. Distribute pre-work early, set an agenda, set ground rules, manage interpersonal dynamics, make sure everybody's you listen to, those quiet people, because they probably have the answer. Follow up and follow through. So who does what and when at the end of the meeting? These are very important. Make every meeting matter or don't meet at all. This is what the literature says. Theory also uses meetings as a learning platform. So it's also a way, so apart from getting consensus, he also uses it to coach, if you like, for people to learn about the organization, to learn about the matters at hand, etc. So use it also as a learning platform. I think this, and like I said earlier, close with a plan of action. Avoid a meeting. So these are, again, literature review. Avoid a meeting if the same information could have been covered in a memo or an email. Set objectives, provide an agenda beforehand, assign meeting preparation, assign action items, and examine your meeting process. And it's all about execution, you know. And at the end of the day, you know, all these things we've talked about, whether it's meeting deadlines, whether it's a sense of urgency, whether it's having meetings, whether it's having a can-do spirit, it all translates to execution, you know. So it's all about execution, the carrying out of a plan, order, or course of action. So we want to execute our business plans. You know, these are the things we must put in place. Execution is about getting things done. Execution is about decisions and activities you undertake in order to turn your implemented strategy into commercial success. Strategy, implementation, and execution involve, remember what Thierry says, think and do. So deciding and acting, planning and producing, you know, translating those ideas into action. This is so key. So how to execute your strategy, set clear priorities, collect and analyze data, keep a rhythm to meetings, and evaluate your strategy. So, and Thierry's, some further quotes from Thierry on all these areas that we've just, on these business values, this Thierry way we've just discussed. It says, action at the speed of thought. Execution. Execution is the art of getting things done. Execution is about discipline, focus on outcomes. It says a bit of planning in the form of these questions are some tips on execution. First, you need to ask yourself, what am I supposed to do? Then, is there clarity? Do I understand what I'm supposed to do? What resources do I need to do it? In what time frame am I required to get this done? Thierry says, I don't reward effort. I reward accomplishment. I reward people who accomplish results, and I believe that people must work hard. It's not either or for me. You have to do both. This is the genius of and. Okay, so that's it for today. Let's have some translation and some interaction. So comments.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you so much. So please share your comments. And while you're sharing your comments, Foko, please could you quickly translate to French? So we can now take comments and questions. Thank you.
Ok, donc nous allons passer donc à cette autre série d'astuces sur le travail dur, le travail bien fait, la productivité, que Tony a bien voulu partager avec nous. Donc, il commence par la discipline. Donc, il donne quelques clés pour la productivité, pour le leadership et la productivité, comme par exemple la discipline, le travail dur, le sens du sacrifice. Donc, en général, nous raconte beaucoup d'histoires qui permettent de comprendre que Tony insiste sur le fait qu'un leader, un chef d'entreprise, un créateur d'entreprise doit être discipliné. Ça doit être quelqu'un de très travailleur, qui a le sens du sacrifice, qui pense au long terme et surtout à sa vision quand il travaille. Pour travailler, il doit réunir autour de lui des personnes qui sont comme lui, des personnes qui sont des personnes travailleuses. Il dit, évitez de donner aux gens des choses que vous-même, vous ne pouvez pas faire. Donc, prenez des gens qui sont comme vous et qui peuvent aussi être de bons travailleurs comme vous. Il dit, le succès ne se livre pas sur un plateau. Le succès, c'est le travail. Success does not come on a platter. Donc, c'est le travail que vous devez faire. Ça vient à force de sacrifices et tout ce que vous faites avec les personnes qui vous entourent. Elle nous partage un livre qu'elle recommande de lire, les 10 000 heures, et dans de Malcolm Gladwell. Et dans ce livre-là, il parle des succès comme Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, et toute autre grande personnalité du monde que nous connaissons dans les affaires. Donc, elle nous recommande vivement de pouvoir lire ce livre-là. Et il dit, Tony lui-même, c'est quelqu'un qui bouge. Il bouge énormément. Il fait des rencontres, il rencontre des présidents. Il y a par exemple 2 jours, il était avec Tony. Il était avec Macron. Donc, il dit, Tony, c'est quelqu'un qui ne dit jamais je ne peux pas. Il dit, je peux surtout. Et vous devez aussi avoir cet esprit. L'esprit de je peux le faire. Il n'y a pas de je ne peux pas dans votre langage. I can't ne doit pas être dans votre langage. Vous pouvez le faire. Et c'est ce que Tony fait. Et il dit, quand vous avez une opportunité, saisissez-la tout de suite, rapidement, parce que si vous ne le faites pas, d'autres vont le faire à votre place. Il dit, vous devez passer à l'action tout de suite. Donc, concernant donc, la décision, il dit, un entrepreneur doit être décisif. Donc, faites des choses qui vous permettent de prendre des décisions et vous les exécuter tout de suite. Il ne faut surtout pas garder, il ne faut surtout pas attendre. Concernant les réunions, elle partage avec nous quelques astuces de Tony sur les réunions. Il dit que les réunions doivent être des plateformes d'échange, des plateformes d'apprentissage, des plateformes de coaching. Ça veut dire que quand vous faites la réunion avec vos collaborateurs, avec vos partenaires, il faut que ces gens-là tirent quelque chose de vous. Il faut qu'ils apprennent à la sortie de cette réunion-là. C'est ça l'important d'une réunion. Une réunion doit être une réunion de partage d'informations. Ça doit être une réunion où on accepte toutes les idées qui sont émises, où on apporte des solutions aux problèmes, où on fait des plans, des projets, où on revoit les performances et on passe à l'action en prenant des décisions importantes. Si maintenant il y a des intérêts qui ne sont pas convergents ou bien des conflits, on doit pouvoir les résoudre. La réunion ne doit pas être seulement un lieu de rencontre, ça doit être effectif, ça doit être un lieu où on passe à l'action et on fait des choses suffisamment concrètes pour l'avancement du projet. Bon, tout ça ne saura se faire si en fin de compte, on ne passe pas à l'action. Tony insiste dessus. Il faut passer à l'action. L'action permet de mettre l'ordre dans les choses. Execution is getting things done. Donc, l'action permet de voir les choses être faites. Ne restez pas seulement là à dire. Non. Vous devez faire certaines choses de façon excellente pour en arriver à des résultats. Stratégie, implementation and execution involved. Dans les stratégies, la mise en place des projets et l'exécution entraîne trois faits importants. Réfléchir et faire. Deuxième chose, décider et passer à l'action. Troisième chose, planifier et produire. Donc ça, c'est passer à l'action, l'exécution. C'est des choses importantes. Et pour finir, food for thought, donc certaines pensées, pour certaines nourritures pour votre pensée. Tony dit par exemple, action at the speed of thought. Donc vous devez agir aussitôt que vous avez pensé. Ne gardez pas. Aussitôt que vous pensez, vous passez à l'action. Execution is the art of getting things done. Passer à l'action, c'est l'art de voir les choses être faites. Execution is about discipline. Passer à l'action, c'est le fait d'être discipliné. Si vous n'êtes pas discipliné, vous ne pouvez pas passer à l'action. Et vous devez être focus sur le résultat. Vous devez être vraiment focus sur le résultat. Et il dit, pratiquement pour conclure, que le plus important, ce n'est pas seulement l'effort. Il dit, I don't reward effort. Donc moi, je ne récompense pas l'effort. Je récompense le résultat, accomplishment, achievement. Je récompense le résultat. Les gens doivent apprendre à travailler par rapport au résultat. Donc, je vais m'arrêter là-bas et puis on va prendre les commentaires. OK, Angela is good. I will take my comment after you, please. After Ibukun.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Fuka. Well done. So Ibukun, can you share any comments? So you guys, I want comments on any of these business values, whether it's hard work leads to productivity, sense of urgency, meeting deadlines, any of this. Can we talk about it? Because this is how you're going to translate your ideas to action, you know, in a practical way, you know, in a practical way, how are you going to do so? So let's hear your thoughts.
Okay, so we have a few comments. So someone here says, I have meetings regularly with my team, especially the ones that work far away, or I guess they work in another town or another city. Someone else says, efforts are not rewarded, accomplishments are rewarded. Yes. Okay, then there's another comment. My mantra is there's always a way out. Nothing is impossible in my dictionary, and everyone who works with me knows this.
Excellent.
So we have another one. TOE is a great source of inspiration for all African youths. Its initiative of empowering Africa is wonderful. Analyze your purpose and set clear objectives.
Correct.
Another comment here is rewarding performance has been one of the most effective ways of getting the best from my employees. I think I'll surely practice it henceforth to move my business forward.
Excellent.
There's another comment, hard work pays everybody. Entrepreneurs should be involved in the process of not folding their hands and watching things play out. They really need to get involved and achieve success in their businesses. Another comment here is, thank you, Ma. Success in business is a product of planning, execution, and accomplishment. There's another comment. Action at the speed of thought, focus on outcomes, clarity, resources, and time frame for getting things done. Reward accomplishments, not effort. Then the last comment, training and holding interactive meetings will help the productivity of a business. And through today's training, I now understand that I should have a can-do spirit.
Yes.
Yeah, so those are the comments we have now.
Great feedback. Thank you. You guys are great students. I really like all the feedback. Well done. Foco, let's hear from the French-speaking team.
OK. Donc, avant de faire les commentaires, Angèle a insisté sur quelque chose, ce qui est affiché à l'écran. Elle dit, s'il vous plaît, faites vos commentaires sur ce qui est affiché. Le travail, hard work lead to productivity, le travail bien fait, c'est-à-dire l'endurance conduit à la productivité. Le sens de l'urgence, les réunions avec des délais, l'esprit de je peux le faire, être décisif, les réunions efficaces, avoir les choses faites, être focus sur le résultat et l'exécution. Donc, elle dit, faites vos commentaires là-bas. Pendant que vous faites vos commentaires, je vais lire certains commentaires que j'ai déjà reçus. OK, c'est très important et nécessaire de récompenser les employés, car sans eux, il n'y aura pas de bonne production. Donc, les motiver à renforcer et à améliorer leurs performances.
Okay, are you giving us the feedback in English or in French?
No, I am giving the French one, not the feedback in English.
But I need to know what the feedback is, no?
Okay, I'm going to translate in English. Okay. Donc j'étais en train de dire, une bonne organisation, là, j'ai sauté, OK, let me check again. Un bon entrepreneur doit travailler à créer d'autres succursales pour aller loin dans les affaires. A good entrepreneur should work in order to open another company in another agency, another branch of his company. Récompenser les employés qui se comportent bien. Je pense que ça contribue à augmenter les performances. Rewarding employees who are hardworking can encourage them to be more productive. On a tendance à dire que c'est le travail qui paye. It is always said that it is the work who pays. Is working hard who pays. Une bonne organisation. Okay, let me check another one. Vouloir, c'est pouvoir, être décisif, travailler durement. Willing is wanting. Decisiveness when you work is a good thing. Un entrepreneur doit toujours focaliser sur les résultats, il doit toujours passer à l'action. An entrepreneur should be focused on results. He needs to always go into action. Il faudra toujours se demander comment est-ce que je peux y arriver au lieu de dire je ne peux faire ceci ou cela. We should also ask how can we afford it instead of saying that we can't do it. OK. La bonne gouvernance permet d'atteindre ses objectifs, les objectifs. Good governance can allow us to have good results. That is what I can say as comment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Foucault. Thank you so much. So that brings us to the end of today's webinar. It's a shorter session today. So let's have some, if you have any questions for me, or if you feel you've addressed them with the comments you've made, that's fine. Okay. If you have any questions.
Okay, so please share your questions and more comments if you've really learned anything today. So please, we've gotten a few comments, but we want more comments. Okay, so there's one here. Ideas don't make one rich. The execution of ideas does. So we must learn how to put our ideas into action.
Great.
So yeah, so please share more comments. And if you have any questions, we'll be happy to take them now. Thank
Ok,
you.
donc nous sommes arrivés au thème de cette session qui n'était pas longue. Maintenant, on vous demande si vous avez des questions, essayez de les partager. Et beaucoup viennent de partager une autre impression qu'on a eue d'un participant. Il dit l'idée ne permet pas d'obtenir les résultats. C'est quand vous passez à l'action que vous obtenez les résultats. Donc, si vous avez des questions, s'il vous plaît, posez-les, on va pouvoir y répondre. Nous attendons.
Okay, so there are no questions for now. I'm sure they were able to understand.
Everybody knows how to translate their ideas into actions.
Yeah.
Hire the right people, institutionalization and governance, reward people, and execution. I think those are the key messages for today. This is the how you get from ideation to results. Okay. All right, guys. So we'll speak next week. And look forward to that.
Yeah. So there's one more comment before we go. And this person says, no result without hard work and consistency.
Yes. And don't forget what Theo says. He says he works very hard and he demands no less from the people that work with him. So you work hard, you're the shining example in your institution. Make sure that you expect no less from the people that work with you. Hire right, hire smart. Okay? So take care.
Please, let me translate. Let me translate though.
Okay, go ahead.
Angèle revient sur un point important. Elle dit, Tony ne recrute pas quelqu'un qui peut travailler moins que lui. Donc, il dit, il recrute les gens qui peuvent travailler aussi bien que lui. Ça, c'est important. Et il dit de faire de bons recrutements. Please, I have a question. Someone has a question. Can I share it?
Go ahead.
OK. Comment faire le choix de ses employés afin d'atteindre facilement les objectifs fixés? The guy is asking how to make choice of our employee in order to have the result that we have put in place.
I think that was what I think we talked about that. We said sorry, I'm just trying to well, it wasn't in this one, it was in the previous one, sorry. So here it is. This is the how. So hire right, conduct structured interviews and include key people. So for instance, you want to hire someone, you need someone for your branding. So and you are the CEO. So you'll get maybe the HR person involved, get maybe your finance person involved, in the interview so that you have a varied perspective of this person, because you're not going to be able to ask all the questions, so that you make sure you get the right kind of person. Put round pegs in round holes, so someone is internally focused, someone is, someone that doesn't like to interact with people. You're not going to put that person in a sales role, because that person will never be able to interact with people, and then identify, obviously when you did your business plan, you came up with an organization structure. Structure follows strategy, as Chandler says. So you came up with your organizational structure. You have to populate your organizational structure. You have to put people in the organizational structure you've come up with. And so you have to find the people, you put JDs, you put job descriptions for each of these people in your organizational chart, and identify people with those skills that you're looking to fill your organizational charts with. Hire wisely, check references, make sure these people were not, did not commit fraud, for instance, in the previous organization they worked for, and measure performance. So these are the general principles in terms of how to hire right. Okay?
Okay, maybe it's because I have not I have not translated this part. Please let me go ahead.
Okay, go
Donc,
on.
pour répondre à la question que notre ami a posée, c'est-à-dire comment faire le choix de ses employés afin d'atteindre facilement les objectifs fixés, voilà donc ce passage dans ce que nous avons fait aujourd'hui. Il faut avoir une culture des valeurs collectives et des croyances. Donc, Tony nous recommande de recruter justement. Donc, conduct structure interview and include key persons. C'est-à-dire, vous devez, lorsque vous recrutez des gens, faire des interviews structurées et faire intervenir les personnes clés de l'entreprise pour que cette personne puisse vous assister lors du recrutement de cette personne. Deuxième, je dis hire smart. Donc, vous devez, par exemple, lors des recrutements, être soft, être doux, bien procéder à un recrutement propre par rapport à l'organisation de l'entreprise. Veillez à ce qu'il y ait au départ eu un profil et aussi qu'il y ait eu une description au départ une description de poste et un profil de poste afin de pouvoir, au fil des interviews, voir si la personne que vous écoutez, que vous êtes en train d'interviewer, correspond effectivement au poste pour lequel vous voulez recruter la personne. On dit par exemple, si vous avez quelqu'un de timide, ça sert à quoi de le recruter dans un service de vente où on fait face dans un rayon ou bien un service de vente où on fait face constamment à la clientèle. C'est-à-dire quelqu'un qui soit vraiment de motivé, quelqu'un qui soit de super dynamique. Donc, c'est des choses que vous devez regarder lorsque vous recrutez quelqu'un afin d'atteindre les objectifs. Il dit aussi de recruter sagement. Hire wisely, recruter sagement. Donc, tenez compte des références de la personne. On ne recrute pas juste comme ça au hasard. Prenez soin de savoir qui est la personne que vous êtes en train de recruter à travers ses références. Mettez aussi en place des mesures de performance afin de savoir, de jauger, même en termes de recrutement, quels sont vos objectifs, qu'est-ce que vous attendez, est-ce que la personne qui est en face de vous va correspondre aux objectifs que vous êtes fixés. Et bien évidemment, de penser à récompenser lorsqu'il y a de bonnes performances. Donc voilà des stratégies importantes lorsque lorsque vous voulez atteindre vos objectifs en termes de personnel que vous recrutez. Elle a aussi partagé un mot que la stratégie suit généralement l'organisation. Donc, que l'organisation suit généralement la stratégie. Donc, pensez à mettre en place des stratégies et organiser votre entreprise de façon à ce que ça puisse correspondre à la stratégie qui a été mise en place. Donc, je vous remercie et c'est bon pour aujourd'hui. Thank you, Angela.
Coco, well done. Thank you so much, Coco. Merci beaucoup.
Merci aussi.
Okay. So, in the absence of any further comments, look forward to speaking to you guys next week and having an interactive session. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. They're all saying thank you in the comment section. They really enjoyed today's session. Very short, but it was very impactful and they learned a lot.
Thank you very much.
So thank you guys for joining us today again. We really appreciate it. I know it's not convenient for some people because some people have 9 to 5 and because of the time difference, but thank you for joining today. So the next series, which is the TOA webinar series 3, will be next week, Tuesday next week, and we'll be sharing the links to join and all the information you need. We'll share that with you via email. So thank you for joining today and see you next week. Have a lovely weekend. Thank you. Wish you all the best. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.